We will now have an address from our salutatorians, Spiro Tanous and Jerry Zhang.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations. We are finally here. I'd like to thank our parents, our faculty, and everyone else who has helped us reach this moment. I'll start with the story. It begins in October 2017, towards the end of the first semester of junior year, in AP Physics 1. We are testing our model bridges against the eliminator. A bucket attached to the middle of the bridge, which is slowly filled with weights until the bridge collapses. I see many beautiful and robust bridges. Mine is neither. Nevertheless, I remain hopeful. As each bridge succumbs to the eliminator, the owner places it at the front of the classroom. The bridges are displayed with the strongest on the right and the weakest on the left. When it comes my turn to test my bridge, I cross my fingers that my bridge does not end up on the left. Slowly and gently, I lower weights into the eliminator. After only a few weights are placed, the bridge snaps and clean in half. So do my hopes and dreams. Dazed and mortified, I place it at the furthest left of the display. The scores are ranked relative to an unsupported, unmodified piece of wood, which is scored at 500. The number has no significance on its own, but the higher the better. My score is 310. From that day onward, the number 310 became an inescapable part of my identity and a constant point of entertainment for my friends. We'd be hanging out at a friend's house when suddenly someone would announce, "Hey, look at the time, it's 3:10. This past March, I was wished a happy 3:10 day. Over spring break, a friend sent a selfie he took with his hotel room door, which was, of course, labeled 3:10. Every time someone uttered the number 3:10, I was reminded of my failure, and 3:10 slowly became part of my identity. I share this story because I believe it epitomizes an experience shared by students everywhere. In all of our lives, at some point or another, we have given our hardest struggle, given our best attempt at some challenge, only to be awarded a disheartening number for our efforts. Worse, we sometimes allow these numbers to determine who we are, whether it's our GPA, our SAT or ACT scores, or even our bridge scores. Even outside of academics, we worry incessantly about our weight, our height, our KD ratios, and in this obsession, it is too easy to lose sight of reality and allow these simple numbers to determine how successful we are in life. Yep. It is no wonder that we do this. These numbers have a certain appeal, presenting themselves as objective reflections of reality. Yet the numbers don't paint the whole picture. The culmination of our high school experiences, the friendships we've forged, the wisdom we've attained, and the trials we've endured cannot be described by ink on paper. Even now, I find it incredibly bizarre that while there are plenty of students in the audience who are more intelligent, more imaginative, and better public speakers than I still find myself on stage addressing all of you, merely because a single number dictates that I do so. I want to be clear, at any given task, there will be some who are better than others. Although numbers do not paint the whole picture, they are certainly not liars. I know now that I should definitely not pursue civil engineering. I hope, though, that my experience can serve as a valuable lesson. And I hope that as we head into college and beyond, that we do not allow these one-dimensional numbers to define who we are. As DMX once said, never become so involved with something that blinds you. Never forget where you're from. Someone will remind you. I know that a talented class such as ours is destined for greatness, and all the better if we can remember to resist the allure of the meaningless numbers. Also, shout out to Jake Headington, fellow 310.
I would like to begin by thanking my maternal grandparents, Peter and Carolyn Boyle, for being there as I've grown up. I would also like to thank my paternal grandparents, Spiro and Hannah Tanous, for surviving the Palestinian exile and making it to America so I could become who I am today. It has been a great 4 years here at Wood Creek, and now we have finally made it. We have put in the work and are now being rewarded for all our efforts with even more work starting in a couple of months. We are here today not only because the government said we had to be, but also because we are moving on to the next stages in our lives, whether that be a 4-year university, a junior college, the military, or a job. From here on out, we are no longer teenagers, but members of society who are supposed to contribute to the common good. Shocking, since most of us still have to sing the ABCs every time we put things in alphabetical order. Nap time will become bedtime at 3 in the morning. 2-page essays will become 20-page essays, and a couple bucks in our pocket for pizza will become an empty wallet with our next student loan payment coming up on Thursday. Man, college is such a good trade-off for high school. But even with the approaching debt and daunting work, we will always find time to play Super Smash Bros. And mindlessly watch an endless feed of YouTube videos. 5 years from now, billionaire Tony Stark will say that we are the Avengers, not the Prevengers. Too often today, people sit on the sidelines waiting for someone to happen before they jump in and try to stop what is going wrong and work for something that is right. We wait for Thanos to snap before we try to collect the stones and reverse it. As we step out of this ceremony, graduating and growing, it is a reminder to each of us that we cannot wait for something to happen before we take action. You cannot come back to win the game when there's no time left on the clock. We will never win as the next generation if we wait until the final minutes to address the things plaguing our society. So if you can, work to solve a problem before it becomes a problem. We must become a proactive generation. We must take things on. So let's get a one-up on Iron Man and become the preventers, because we can't fail if we're one step ahead of the competition. Thank you.
Please congratulate and welcome to the podium Wood Creek High School valedictorian, Mitchell Herbert.
Hello, class of 2019. May 31st, 2019, a day we will remember for the rest of our lives. We've come a long way since our first day at Wood Creek. I'll never forget the so-called group projects, the quadratic formula, or the time the yearbook immortalized my signature as a scribble which read, Trevor Hilton. For these memories, I'd like to thank our school's esteemed faculty and my outstanding classmates. However, this ceremony does not mark the end of high school. It marks the beginning of our adult lives. We must now decide what we're going to make of them. In the words of founder of SpaceX, peanut brittle seller, and meme lord, Elon Musk, I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. I believe that here at Wood Creek, we have chosen to be extraordinary. Our high school journey began in the locker rooms of freshman year, where boys became men. Where we held our breath to escape the inescapable cloud of Axe body spray as we changed out of repeating clothes. Where I boldly waddled back to the locker rooms after my bathing suit ripped down the middle during my synchronized swimming performance. Extraordinary. Next came our sophomore year, when our varsity basketball team rushed onto the court of the Golden One Center for the Open Division State Championship. The size of the black mob in the stands was astounding. Whether we won or lost, we did it together. Extraordinary. As we started to get the hang of things, we began junior year. We performed remarkably well on standardized tests, such as the SAT and the ACT. We took courses which not only challenged us, but exposed us to new disciplines. Some of us discovered hidden talents. Others discovered that building bridges is not their forte. We participated in numerous clubs and activities as we realized our days left in high school were numbered. Extraordinary. And at last, afflicted by senioritis, we entered this year, the year we graduate. We stepped off the field after the game one last time. We set records with ticket sales for our production of Les Miserables. We came together for one last best day ever with Mr. Stowers. Hopefully, each of us has decided upon the next step in their life. This past fall, many of us completed our first college application, and then our second college application, and our third college application, and then a generic college essay for the other 7 schools. Others have begun acquiring vocational skills which will help them as they enter the workforce this fall. Extraordinary. As our time as high school students comes to an end, we have a newfound opportunity. The opportunity to take on the world, pursue our passions, and to shape the future. Each of us will take advantage of this opportunity, whether we do so as engineers, managers, performers, athletes, or even stay-at-home parents. We have an exciting future ahead of us. A future complete with self-driving cars, drone deliveries, and even the colonization of Mars. While these are only some of the changes we can expect in the future, I'm certain of one thing. Every change offers opportunities for ordinary people to become extraordinary. If you only take one thing from this speech, I hope it is this. This celebration does not mark the end of high school. It marks the beginning of your adult life. After all, in the words of Mark Twain, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2019.